Good evening and welcome back to the Angry Cast and Satisfactory. Alright, this is going to be a multi-parted, well, me screwing around kind of thing. I went and I trucked all of that quartz, raw quartz, back over to the hub area, and I've got a massive, probably inefficient production system going on here of turning raw quartz into silica and into crystal quartz, was it? Quartz crystal. I'm going to need this to unlock some things, as well as set up the next set of production for, I think, crystal oscillators, but I'm not exactly sure what that's going to entail. I'm going to take some of this stuff over here just because we're going to have to put it through the through the MAM in order to get it unlocked some things and see what that recipe for the crystal oscillator is. Oof. Alright, let's get over there. Whoops. Alright, here we are. We need 139 of those, or 50 of those crystal, or the silica, and 10 modular frames. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Boom. Alright, yay. What else we need? We need to do node research. Oh wait, we do have the crystal oscillator. What is it? It's manufacturer, and it's crystal, quartz crystal cabling, and that's gonna be a big deal. And we haven't unlocked the manufacturer yet because we haven't got the oil yet, because we need to get plastic and rubber, and that unlocks that. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So we're gonna guess we're gonna have to head out and get the oil set up. Okay. All right, we are fully set up as far as oil is concerned. I'm gonna take you over there in a bit, but I came back over here. The problem is that it is now May. This was the first part, the first two parts of that. Unlock, the quartz crystal and the silica and the blade runners and all that stuff was done in February. It is now May because I took that big of a break from playing, and we were working on the quartz side of things, and we still have to get silica, which will add in +6 inventory slots, which would be nice. This thing needs the oscillator. This thing needs the oscillator. This thing we could do, this thing needs an oscillator, and this thing needs the oscillator and circuit boards. And we can't do any of that, I said, until we unlock the manufacturer, and the manufacturer is bound by this industrial manufacturing Tier 5 milestone, which will give us the manufacturing, give us a truck, give us a computer, give us a modular engine, an adaptive control unit. And these two items will be used for Part 3, or Phase 3 of the space elevator. Now, as you can see, I've got all of the motors, I've got all of the plastic, I've got all of the rubber, and I've got all of the cables that I need in order to send this off on its way. So yeah, let's break it. Let's send it off and get it out there, and then that's going to be 12 minutes before it comes back. Let's go over and look at how oil is set up right now, and everything is kind of in disarray at this moment. I'm just getting collecting items because we have a lot of stuff we're going to have to pivot to. I mean, as it is right now, our next milestone is going to be this here, because gas mask, I'm not really caring about that at the moment. And Tier 6, we really can't do anything until we've got full production up, because we have to do computers there, we need to do fuel, packaged fuel there, we need to do computer there, we need to do we could do pipeline engineering. I'm not concerned with that at this moment. I'm more concerned with alternative fluid transport. Why that word looks so foreign to me, I do not know. But that's our next thing, as well as beginnings of Tier 6. But we're going to have to get the manufacturer set up. And the manufacturer is, my goodness, a manufacturer is going to require motors, this heavy modular frames, cable and rubber, or I'm sorry, plastic, in order to create. And we're going to have to get that set up fully automated. So let's go over and check and show you what we're talking about over here. All right, as you can see, we our coal production facility over here. This is going to be laid out for some oil stuff. But right now, I have it all where I found the oil, which is up on this ridge here. There are little deposits everywhere. But up on top of the ridge from here is where the oil fields were at. Now, there's going to be a lot of them all over the place. There's probably a lot of better ones than the ones I have set up, but the ones I have right now, or the closest ones to the existing power grid that we had. Eventually, we're going to have to start spreading out and going across the map and finding other locations and setting up, do that. But the good news is that once we do get these set up, I think we're going to add to our power grid with fuel production. But here, oh my gosh, you can see, whee! Here's where the oil was. So we got 2 oil veins, or I'm sorry, oil deposits, I guess would be the correct terminology. Here, and it's guarded by the big stuff. We had to go take care of them first. And now we got these 2 set up. We got pipes running in here for now to just merging them together. And this was in order to get the plastic and the rubber for the Milestone. But it comes into the refinery, and right now I have it setting to crude oil. You can set it to do plastic with a byproduct of heavy oil residue, do just residual plastic, do rubber, or do residual rubber. Oh, and the rubber has the heavy oil residue, or premium Coke. You can turn oil into Coke. What that does then is that it outputs on a refinery. It outputs 2 different types of output. It gives you a solid output. I'm stuck. What the hell? A solid output through here, and then a liquid output. Now I've got the liquid output just filling up these damn tanks right now, and if you fill up or you do something that stops the flow, it's right now it's waiting for rubber. I had it switched over for some reason, and it was putting out. This is all the things I put out because of it. What is happened here now is I have this. I kept switching it back and forth for different purposes, and the refinery itself also has an input, because if you're going to do something that you have an input, you need to have. Let's say we have to have, and now we're producing plastic. We're fine. Nothing else is happening, and we're producing residual plastic. I'm sorry, heavy oil residue and plastic on its own. I could say, oh yeah, let's do residual plastic, but I would need to have a polymer resin coming in, which comes from. It's also produced from refinery, so you have to daisy chain these suckers together in order to do some of this stuff. So there's going to be an entire thing, and then we also have, oh yeah, I can make rubber just from the crude oil, and then I can also do residual rubber, which again, polymer resin and water being put into this thing in order to make that, or the Coke, which is just a heavy oil residue. So we can set up. We have to daisy change refineries and refineries to get that stuff, and then our fuel is either going to be the resin or the residual fuel. That's just everything about that. So I had it turned off for the moment because I didn't want to have anything going, but was producing. I wanted to have the output of this. I wanted to have the output of the fluid buffer being heavy oil residue, because I wanted to use that for stuff. And right now you've got 3, 4, 5 of these things of this heavy oil residue, and then we also have this buffer of fluid of fuel happening here, which we'd have to package. We'd have to attach this to a packager. So those are things those are down the road. We're going to be doing that stuff, getting that set up, and I have that entire platform laid out down there in order to do that. In order to do that, though, I need a few more items unlocked, which I haven't got to yet. So that has to be put on hold until after we finish off this phase 3 of the. Actually, that's an hour. Oh my gosh! I just not realized that. No, it was not 11 minutes. It's okay. No, I'm sorry. I can't tell time. Apparently, I forgot that My brain is a scary place, and please stay away from it. So we only got a minute left to wait for that to come back. But the next milestone we'll be working on, but I want to get set up to do the modular engines and the adaptive control units. Those require the manufacturer, and the manufacturer has more than just, like your regular assembler. So, let's game this out. You started off with our constructor. One item in, one item out. And then we moved on to the assembler, which can do 2 items in and 1 item out. And now we've got the manufacturer that takes 3 items in and puts out a single item. So the first item that we have to do 2,500 of, I think that's the framework, or whatever that is. That was what we did for, I think, part 1 of phase 1 of the space elevator, and we were able to do that without a lot of problems. Here, and hopefully I'm not capturing more than one screen at a time, because that would make everything really, really weird. The versatile framework, versatile framework was 2,500 of those, and we did that quite simply with an assembler, and that was I think we actually set it up right there at the hub and just had them all working on that. We don't have a formalized factory setup for that purpose. But now we have to do the versatile framework, and then we have to have 2 manufacturers to do the modular engines and the adaptive control units. And I will set that all up. Once we get phase 3 done of the space elevator, then we can start to unlock other things and do tiers 7 and 8 of the hub. And there's going to be so much stuff happening. And then we can get really into a lot of the oil production stuff. It's going to be a lot of, and this is part of the problem I have with the game, is that there's a lot of manual and moving of stuff around, having, all that stuff. I don't like this. It's like a clicker almost. You have to do these little things a lot, again and again and again, in order to set up other bigger things. And then once you get that, and it becomes so hard to see the forest for the trees and all that. Like I know I got to put up. For what I want to put up over here, I need to put up 4 water extractors. Well, the water extractors alone take 3. Water extractors alone require rotors, which I didn't have on hand before. I need to make like 3 or 4 of them, so I need to have at least 40 rotors. Okay, fine. But then I got into refineries. Well, refineries take the motors, and I only had 30 on it. I need to set up 15 refineries for various items tied into each other for producing other items, and I need like 150. I need 150 motors to do that. Well, I don't have 150 motors right now. I mean, I do. I don't have a factory set up. I have a factory set up to produce the motors, but one of the main components is the stator, which we did in the first the framework phase of the space elevator. The smart plating and the versatile framework, all the stuff that made the stators and all, those types of things. We have to. I think it was was it the versatile framework or the automated wiring? I forget. But one of those 2 items needed a stator, so I have a stator factory set up, and then I've just been hand carrying stators over to the motor factory. You see where I'm going? This is all sorts of fun, goofy shit that is not anywhere near organized, And I would like to get it to that point. I would like to have each individual mining operation, whether it be coal, whether it be limestone, whether it be copper. I'd like to have all those little miners set up and producing all of those items. And then I want to have those items stored there and then brought to and then farmed out to different locations, so that I can say, okay, fine, I need copper over here, and I need copper over there. I need iron over here. I need iron over there. And then have individual, that's the modular method. But it requires a lot of logistics, and I don't have the logistics set up. I have belts, but we're going to get to the monorail. We're going to get to the train. We're going to get to all those things, and then we can start to say, all right, fine, I can set up an individual mining operation for whatever deposit I have, Caterium, copper, when we get to that point, and then start to truck things all over the place and put them where they need to be, and then have those little individual factories working on one item. And then at the other end of that, and then we repeat the process. We take whatever item is being produced at that place, and then truck it to where it needs to go, whether it be going to an assembler for one thing or a manufacturer for another thing, different assemblers, different items, or just storage because we need it for other things. Then we start talking about, okay, when we get into like nuclear pasta and all the other stuff, and these are things, are concepts that are way beyond me, and I don't know if I can handle that in my brain. This is why this game is somewhat frustrating. Now, okay, we've got this, like this right here. This is just producing steel. This is producing steel beams, and steel beams are being produced over here, and now this has become so inefficient. I don't know why. I think I have to I think I need to overclock this, because everything's getting backed up through here, and it's not building it fast enough. So that now, I mean, you can see here, the steel beams are almost full down to the bottom, but this thing is running twosies all the way through, and it's just pushing it. And it's just taking longer to get there. I wonder what was happening over here. Yeah, I had to bring over a bunch of stators from that other location, so now I can start making motors. And you can see I got a lot of motors happening here. I've got 2 sets of... I got 6 total containers right now. These 3 are full. And this one here is full... about a half of the top one. So I've got 3.5 containers out of 6 full of motors, which I'm going to pull from to make other things for the time being. Like I said, once we have up to a point where my brain can wrap itself around the idea of setting up this modular idea that I have, and having individual factories create things and then have it transported to where it needs to be, instead of being, tied to other factories in itself, then we can, sort of build around that. And that's why I haven't done the next thing yet, which is unlock a lot of the stuff from the Awesome Shop, which is, I have like 80 tickets right now from the sinks that I've had running with screws and other things going into them. And those 80 tickets, I could pretty much unlock everything I want to at this point, which will be a blessing to me, so I can start to build these things. But there's like really no... It's just more crap in my brain that I have to deal with in different menu screens. So I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so we gotta let's one other thing let's do while we have a moment. We need to we can build ourselves. We have to do it in the equipment workshop, which is the blade runners that we had unlocked earlier. When we need to have rotors, we need to have modular frames, and we need to have silica. Well, we have silica because we have an entire operation down there, so we can pull the silica there. We've got... let's see here. Where's that other... I got shit everywhere, and none of it where it needs to be. Here we go. Back here. Like I said, everything's a mess. It's like I got it back to a point where everything was great, and then I created another mess. That's the horrible part about it. All right, and we have enough to make the blade runners, I think. And let's power that out. There we go. Alrighty. Now let's see what these things do for us. What are they? These are exoskeleton for the lower legs that assists in movement, allowing pioneers to sprint faster, jump higher, and helps with impact. Well, we could always have this. We can pull that on our legs. We're good. Now we're going to also get the jetpack at some point, and then we have other things as well, gas mask and all sorts of manner of things. So, but for now, I think we're good there. Like I said, we have unlocked a lot of other things. Our boy's back. We can now, let's see, we got the packager. We want to get this one. This is going to be next. We can do most of this. We have most of this stuff already. The heavy modular frames are something that we need to manufacture or a crafting bench. And I think we're going to do them in the crafting bench. But they take the modular frames, the steel pipes, the reinforced concrete and screws to make one of them, and I need 25 of them. I can do that easily. I haven't set up the manufacturer yet. Can I build? What's the manufacturer cost me? Like I said, 5 motors, 10 modular frames. I have to build them by hand anyways, and that's kind of the thing. It's like I can do a lot of this shit by hand, but I do it, and that's to unlock stuff. But you get into that situation where you're just constantly crafting one little thing to make something else, and then we're having to go, oh, we've gone to a no location and we've set something up, but now I have to set up all the existing factories we've done before in order to get parts. Dude, I had to, in order to build the platform for the oil production that we're going to be working on, I had to tap into a limestone node right there by the coal production in order to get enough limestone and turn it into concrete so that I could put down foundations. I mean, this is what I'm talking about here. It's having to reinvent the wheel every time I want to do something new. Like, I'm supposed to be making things better, and here I am making things worse. Now, and part of that issue is that, okay, fine, do I have concrete? I got a shit ton of concrete. Over the hill, I've got an entire operation that is probably full up at this point of concrete. I mean, down there, I got an entire, like, all this over here. There's concrete down on the far end of that. It's pretty much, well, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to scroll and I didn't. It's fine, but it's not where I need it to be, because I want to be able to go pick it up right there. Like, if this were Minecraft and it was a Resident Rise or one of those other mod packs, you would have a computer, and you'd have a thing you could just pull things out of your inventory right then and there. I got to travel all the way back on the other side of the map, and even though it's not even the other side of the map, it's just a small, low distance from where I started, it takes me a while to get there. So, then you have to unlock, okay, the jetpack in order to make that an easier trek, or other vehicles. But, there's between here and there's mountains, there's other things. So it's like, we're never going to get to where we need to be nickel and diming it. So it's like, I'm trying to get these things set up, and once I have all the stuff unlocked, we'll have those individual factories that will build things, and then they will move them to where we want them to be, and then they will build the other things there, and then there'll be a series of connected tissue in modular spaces, and I think that'll be the best part. And then again, after all that's done, I'll probably have to tear it all down and restart over again. Who knows? But that's it. That's as far as we got. We didn't get very far. We unlocked one. We did one tier milestone today, and that kind of sucks. But we did a lot in terms of that. So let's get this. Like I said, the other ones I can't do anything until we do the other things. So because we need the computer, and in order to get the computer, we have to unlock. We have to build the computers, which now. The rewards for the how do we build a computer? Oh my, how do we build it? I don't think we can build it we don't think we can build it here. Hell no, we can't build it here. Do we have a it's probably built in a manufacturer or assembler. I'm thinking a manufacturer. Oh, if I'm gonna take silica, quartz, all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm not even gonna look at it. That's where we're at. Again, hey, thanks for all the love from. It's starting to pick up a little bit, and I really am like making my brain hurt and making your brains hurt watching all this, because you're probably like, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. And I've been trying to adopt best practices from other content YouTubers, like Kibitz and Total Eclipse and all those guys, and Bacon Man Deluxe is who's going to supply me the factory layout for what I'm going to be doing with the oil once we get that all set up. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I want to thank you all for supporting us, and keep it coming. We'll keep doing what we can. We'll talk to you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.